Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're looking at a company right in the thick of the autonomous vehicle space, Aeye. And we're asking that big question, is Aeye stock actually a buy right now?
Yeah.
Before we get started, hey, if you like what we do here, please go ahead and subscribe, maybe give us a like, and leave a comment too. Definitely let us know if there's another company you want us to cover next time. Okay, let's get into it. LIDR tech. It's crucial for self-driving, ADAS, robotics, we know that. But the field seems crowded. What's Aeye actually bringing to the table with its hardware and software? Is it really different?
That's the key question, right? What's the edge? And with Aeye, it really comes down to intelligence. Their main thing is the Foresight intelligent sensing platform.
Foresight, okay.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of traditional LiDAR that just sort of blasts the environment and hopes for the best, Aeye uses something called adaptive smart scan. It's basically software-defined LiDAR.
Software-defined. So it thinks it's not just a dumb sensor.
Exactly. Think of it like your own eyes. You don't stare blankly ahead, taking in everything equally, right? You focus on what matters, maybe a car pulling out or a pedestrian. Aeye system does that. It can dynamically program where it puts its sensing energy. It focuses on potential risks or specific objects it needs to identify clearly. Like, is that debris on the road or a pothole? Big difference at highway speeds.
Okay, I see. So it's more efficient.
Way more efficient. It cuts down massively on the computing needed because you're not processing tons of useless data points. That means faster reaction times, better performance when it really counts. That's what OEMs, the car manufacturers, really care about. This adaptability, that's the core bullish argument for Aeye.
That tech story sounds compelling, definitely. But a great idea doesn't automatically mean a great investment, especially early on. Let's look at the financials because, frankly, they looked pretty rough for a while there. This is where the risk really jumps out at you.
Yeah, we can't sugarcoat the past performance. The revenue situation was, well, stark. Trailing 12 months revenue was only about $236,000. And for the full year 2024, it was even less, just $202,000.
Wow, $202,000 for the year.
Yeah, and put that in context. The year before, 2023, they did $1.46 million. So that's an 86% drop year over year. Huge decline. It firmly puts them in that high-risk, almost pre-revenue tech bucket.
And I assume cash flow wasn't exactly flowing in then. How are they keeping the lights on?
No positive free cash flow, none at all. They were funding everything through equity, basically selling stock.
Yeah.
You know, typical for an early-stage tech company betting the farm on future breakthroughs. The market cap now is around $113 million, with almost 40 million shares out there. It's a bet, pure and simple.
A bet that they don't run out of cash before the tech pays off.
Precisely. But here's where the story starts to turn a bit, even before the big news. There are signs of them tightening the belt, getting disciplined. While they're definitely not profitable, they started cutting their losses significantly.
How significant are we talking?
Well, the net loss for the trailing 12 months was about $34.5 million. Now, that sounds like a lot of money to burn.
Yeah, $34 million compared to $200,000 in sales.
Yeah.
That's significant burn.
It is, but it's nearly 60% less than they lost the year before, a 59.3% improvement. That shows they were finding efficiencies, cutting operating costs. They guided their annualized cash burn down to somewhere between $27 and $29 million back around June 2025.
So they were trying to stretch the runway, make the cash last longer while hoping for a big break.
Exactly. It bought them time, and then the break came.
Right. This brings us to the massive shift. The financials look scary, but then suddenly the stock price just exploded. What happened? What was the catalyst?
July 2025. That's the inflection point. They announced a huge contract win. A major top-tier global transportation OEM picked Aye's Apollo LiDAR system.
Okay, an OEM win is big for any supplier.
Yeah.
But the scale here is what seems nuts compared to their previous revenue.
It's absolutely transformative. The deal is worth over $30 million.
That's $1 million.
Yep. Over 24 to 36 months. Remember that $202,000 annual revenue figure? This single contract, just one deal, completely dwarfs everything they've done financially before. It's like going from, I don't know, a lemonade stand to supplying a national grocery chain overnight. It shifts the entire narrative. They're not just an R&D shop anymore. They're a validated supplier.
And the market obviously agreed. The stock went vertical.
Oh, yeah. A 236% rally just in July. jumped from around 90 cents to over $3, $3.15, driven almost entirely by this OEM news, plus some related good news about integrating with NVIDIA's platform.
The NVIDIA link. That always helps validation.
Definitely. It shows they can play in the big leagues within the major autonomous driving ecosystem. And almost forgotten in the excitement, but important for stability, they managed to stay compliant with Nasdaq's minimum bid price rule in August.
Right. Avoiding delisting keeps the institutional money potentially interested.
It's a basic requirement, yeah. Clears a hurdle.
Okay, so the stock rips higher on this news. But after a 236% run, is there anything left? Or did we miss the boat? What do the charts look like now? Is the momentum holding?
It looks like it's holding surprisingly well, actually. The stock is trading comfortably above its key moving averages. The 50-day is around $2.73, and the longer-term 200-day average is way down near $1.43. Being above both usually signals a strong confirmed uptrend.
And the shorter-term indicators? For traders watching this day-to-day?
They look pretty healthy, too. AMCD is giving a buy signal. RSI, the relative strength index, is in that sort of neutral to bullish zone, maybe 53 to 63 recently. So not wildly overbought, suggesting there could be more room.
Volatility.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be ready for wild swings. The beta is almost 2.95 to be precise. That means it's roughly 3 times as volatile as the overall market. So, buckle up if you get involved.
High beta, high risk, high potential reward. Typical for this kind of story. What about the analysts? Are the pros buying this turnaround story?
This is probably one of the most interesting parts. The analyst consensus is remarkably positive for a company like this. It's got a unanimous strong buy rating.
Unanimous. Wow. You don't see that often with microcaps still losing money.
You really don't. It shows a very high degree of conviction from the analysts covering it. And their price targets reflect that optimism.
What are they thinking?
The consensus target for the next 12 months is $6. Depending on the day's trading, that implies something like 90% to maybe 110% upside from where it's been recently. That kind of target suggests they believe this $30 million deal isn't just a one-off, it's the start of something much bigger.
Are the big money managers, the institutions, following suit?
It looks like it. We've seen signs of increased institutional buying after the OEM contract was announced. We'll get a clearer picture soon. The next big round of 13F filings showing institutional holdings is due around September 18th. That will be key to watch for confirmation.
Okay, looking forward then. What are the key things investors should watch for in the very near term, say the next few months? What could keep this momentum going?
Number 1 was the Q2 earnings call, which was scheduled back for July 31st. That was the first big chance for management to really detail the impact of the OEM deal, maybe raise guidance, and set the tone.
Right, management commentary is key there.
Definitely. And number 2, even more critical maybe, is seeing that $30 million order actually start showing up in the reported revenue. We need to see those initial bookings convert to real dollars hitting the income statement. That's the proof the contract is truly ramping up. That's the revenue inflection point everyone's waiting for.
And in this kind of tech space, big wins often lead to, well, rumors. Any M&A chatter or partnership whispers floating around?
Yeah, there's always market talk. Some speculation revolves around potential new partnerships, maybe outside of automotive, think smart cities or industrial automation, logistics perhaps.
Diversifying the customer base.
Exactly. And then there's the inevitable M&A buzz. Could a larger sensor company or even a big semiconductor player decide it's cheaper or faster to just buy Aeye rather than build their own advanced LIDR? It's speculation, but it's out there.
Makes sense. But let's balance the excitement. We talked about the volatility. What are the real risks here? What could sink this ship, even with the big contract?
Execution risk is probably number 1 now. The question shifts from, does the tech work, to can they deliver? Can they scale up production to meet the quality and volume demands of a giant OEM without costs spiraling or running into problems? It's a huge operational challenge.
Landing the deal's one thing. Fulfilling it consistently is another beast entirely.
Absolutely. And tied to that is the profitability question. Even with $30 million coming in, if their margins are still negative, if they can't make money on these units, they'll eventually face that cash crunch again, leading to more dilution or worse.
And relying heavily on one big customer.
That's the concentration risk, yeah. That $30 million deal is amazing, but it also means they're incredibly dependent on that one relationship right now. If that OEM cuts back orders or changes plans, that would hurt badly. Plus, you still have the general sector risks, the high volatility we mentioned, and fierce competition from other LIDR companies, some with deeper pockets.
Okay, so pulling it all together, we've got this advanced, adaptable LIDR tech, a company that's shown some discipline in cutting costs, and then this game-changing $30 million contract win. What's the final verdict? What's the investment thesis look like now?
Overall, I'd say the thesis leans strongly bullish. Maybe an 8.5 out of 10. The $30 million OEM deal is the core of it. It fundamentally resets the company's trajectory and validates their technology in the real world. That's backed by that unusual unanimous strong buy from analysts and the positive technical picture.
So if someone is interested, how should they think about playing it? Short-term pop or long-term hold?
Well, you could see it two ways. Short term, it's about catalysts. Watching those earnings updates, watching for that revenue recognition from the big contract to hit the books, those could provide trading opportunities over the next, say, 3 months.
And longer term?
Longer term, it's a high-risk, potentially high-reward bet on the future of autonomous systems and AI-specific tech finding a leading role. You're betting that their software-defined approach, that SmartScan truly is a durable competitive advantage and they can execute on scaling it up.
Execution seems to be the recurring theme here.
It really is. Success now boils down to making it happen, scaling profitably. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to consider. They landed the big one, the $30 million deal, great. But what comes next? What scale of contracts or what kind of broader customer base do they need to actually hit break even? Not just narrow the losses, but actually stop burning cash. That's the next major hurdle. And watching for signs of that scalability will tell you if this is truly a long-term winner.